Hello everyone. Today we will discuss the next topic about Argo workflow. And what we'll do is today we are going to discuss about our output parameters. Last time we had discussed about script and results, and you can see that video if you have not seen that already. In output parameters, I will run this workflow. We'll discuss what output parameters are and run one sample workflow given here. Then we'll go through this and we'll run one other, no, we'll look at another workflow also. And I'll show you some, workflow which is part of Argo documentation or Argo code base. So let's start. What is output parameters? So in script and results, we had discussed if you want to use the output of a script in subsequent steps, then how to use it. But what if you want to use the result of a step? So here, if you want to use the result of a step as a parameter, then how to go about it. And we don't want to store as an artifact. We have discussed artifacts also earlier. So we want to just understand the process of using the result of a step as a parameter in subsequent steps. So, so this allows you to use result from any type of step, not just from script. For what? For conditional loops, conditional tests, sorry, loops and arguments, correct? Arguments to next step, for example. So the output parameters work similarly to script result, except that the value of the output parameters is set to contents of generated file. So this is important. So the value of the output parameter is set to the contents of generated file rather than the content of std out. So let's go through this example. So this is the kind workflow, and this is a generated name. This is the entry point output parameter. So let's see what is output parameter. So this is a output parameter, and it has two steps, one after another. So first step is generate parameter. So let's see what generate parameters is. It uses the template will save. So in this template, all it does is it uses Docker image, and in this, it sort of generates echoes hello world and puts it into a file. That is all it does. Now what happens is the next step is consume parameters, and we'll see the consume parameters using the template print message. We'll go through this print message template, but before that, what it is doing is it's creating an argument, and in argument there are parameters. The name of the parameter is message, and the value is this steps dot generate parameter. So this is steps, this is generate parameters, and outputs dot parameters. So this the output parameters, and hello param, because here we have created the parameter as hello param, and this parameter is the this parameter is the name of the parameter, and it is in a file. Set the value of hello param to the contents of the hello world txt, correct? So this hello world hello param parameter has the value which is there in this file. So, and this is being created as an argument with argument parameter with this name and this value. Now let's see what happens in print message. In print message, the input parameter is message, because that is what we had created. And then what we do is we just print that message. So we say this image and they say command, and then Argo, just consider this command as print out. It will show some cow photo, and then we have discussed this earlier also. But after the cow sort of photo, it will print this. Now what is this? This is input parameters message. So this input parameters message, and this message content is from this file, and this file is hello world. So now let's run it and see it working. Then we'll discuss the subsequent sections below. Okay. So I have this open here. So this is the output parameters, exactly this thing. Generate parameter will say consume parameter, print message, exactly same thing. So let me go till the bottom so that you can see. I just copied pasted, correct? Now I will run this. So Argo submit output params step dot YAML. I'll run this. I'll go to the UI now, Argo UI, and look for this. So we can see this output parameter. So this workflow will have two steps. First is generate parameter, and second is consume parameter. So in generate parameter, it ends fine. You can see no problem there, correct? And then consume parameter. So consume parameter also ends fine, and we can see the logs, and you can see logs is printing the hello world, correct? That somehow this cow say or something, correct? Some cow image. It's not exactly cow image, but that's how it printed. It's printed hello world, correct? Now, so that's uh, about this. That the value of the output parameter is at the contents of the file, generated file. Correct. Now read below. So there is something called result output parameter. So this result output parameter captures the standard output. When it's a standard output, std out, correct? Like print statement or echo statement. It is accessible from the outputs map. And outputs.result. It is accessible using this. Only 256 KB of standard output stream can be captured. So if you have data which you want to pass as a parameter, and that is within this limit, you can use this also. Otherwise, put it in a file and you can use the file also or artifacts. There's a script we discussed. We already discussed script in the last section. So you can go through this. This was a script. We are printing some message in some random number, and this random number we have discussed this at length in the previous video. So so this is how, so we're using the output params in this, correct? So what we can do now is see, this is what we are using output.results in the script. Now what it is saying is in the container also. So container has you can have your workflow as steps or tasks, correct? So if you are using so container steps and tasks also have the standard output captured in result parameter. So given a task, let's say there are task name is called log-int. Result will be accessible task log-int outputs.result, because that's what it is saying, outputs.result name. If you're using steps, then substitute task for steps. So step dot log-int outputs.result. And we'll see one example of steps. Then I'll show you one example from Argo workflow documentation about task also. Okay. So let's go back to the terminal. So I'll just open this. So what I have done is, it's like I should have changed the name actually, but whatever, correct? So what it does is same thing, generate parameter, consume parameter. Only thing I have changed in generate parameter template will say is, so it runs this command and it just pass this argument to this command, and this argument is just echo it. So basically it's producing the standard output, and that standard output I should be seeing in outputs.result. Then what it does is in the consume parameter, it creates an argument called message, argument parameter called message. And this is important. So it says steps.generate parameter, which is step.generate parameter, outputs.result. So this std out which you have produced here, it should be part of this output.result. And it, print message is same. I have not changed that print message. So it get this message and it just, using cowsay command, it just prints this message. Okay. So let's run this as well. So here also I should be seeing the hello world, only difference being it is coming from outputs.result. So wait, Argo submit, and I'll say underscore result, right? Submit this, and go back here, and I'll look at the workflows. It's still running. So generate parameter was successful, correct? We'll just look at, there should not be anything in the logs except for the common, whatever common log becomes, and consume parameter is there. So now we look at the logs of this, and you should be seeing the hello world again. So this came using outputs.parameters. The last part here is how to handle this for tasks. So this what I have shown you was a step, correct? This here I was using steps, correct? These are the steps, correct? But if there were tasks instead of steps, correct? You can use task also in Argo workflow instead of steps. So for that, I have taken one example. This is from the Argo workflow documentation itself. In their code, you can look at this, something like this. So what they say is that you have the spec, which is the main. So entry point is main. So this in main template you have DAG consists of these tasks: A task, B task. So A task is using the template group. So you can see in this template group you are you're using this container and using this command and arguments. Basically in std out, hi is printing using Python. Hi is getting printed. Next step is the next task is B, which is using template verify. So in verify you can see assert input dot parameters dot x. This parameters is being passed here, and this is input. So here, before I skipped one process. So in the verify, you can see a x argument parameter is being created. Then value of this x argument parameter is task dot a tasks output dot result. Correct. So this std out will go into output dot result map, and that is being passed here as x, and you are printing input parameters x. So you are asserting it here, basically making sure it is high. So that is about the output parameters. Thank you for watching.